All right, we are here live with Farshad Marzban, personal injury lawyer in Texas, talking about SB 30, the latest tort reform. Good morning, Farshad.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thanks for joining us, man.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Anything we can do to get the word out.
That's right. What do you think the general public doesn't know or doesn't understand about SB 30 that they should know?
Really, what they should know is that right now we believe that a jury should be able to, determine the damages someone is owed after a collision or something horrific, a horrific incident. And what they're trying to do with this stuff, with these things they're trying to pass, is they're trying to limit the jury's ability to determine as fellow citizens what their brother or sister or other, their fellow common man may deserve after an incident. They're really trying to make the determination for people through some sort of arbitrary number, or through some sort of legislation that, in our opinion, really isn't fair.
Why is it not fair?
Because you're taking what you're doing with these rules and these new statutes they're trying to put in here is what they're essentially trying to do is say, hey, look, here's the most you can get in every case under whatever falls under that statute, whatever the cases are that fall under that statute. In those cases, this is the most you can get. That's not fair because every case is different. People's injuries are different. People's circumstances are different. People's factual scenarios are different. And a jury should be able to make that determination what somebody may deserve from an incident. Not, there's this idea that there are these nuclear verdicts or these verdicts that people are just making bank, in every case or something. That's nonsense. That to me seems to be like fear mongering and propaganda that is crazy. Instead, what I'm worried and what I'm harping on with this stuff and what I'm focusing on is people trying to take away a jury's ability to say, hey, look, this person deserves this in pocket or whatever the recovery is because of what happened to them.
It reminds me, isn't there something in the Constitution that says that the juries get to decide this? Or does the Constitution say, no, the insurance adjuster and the insurance lobbyist get to decide?
I'll tell you the latter, I've never seen in any sort of historically significant document. I've never seen anything like that.
Good to know.
Nothing about insurance. I've never seen it. If somebody wants to point it to me, I would love to be corrected, but I've never seen anything that says insurance, in the Texas Constitution, the insurance company should make these kind of choices on behalf of every citizen of Texas.
You've been doing this a long time. You've been on the plaintiff side your whole career. I did defense side for a little bit, but you've only done the plaintiff side. So you've seen how these laws could impact real people at real trials. What parts of SB 30 do you think, or the changes that SB 30 will make, will harm victims in real trials?
So, just a quick correction. I've actually done in the past some defense stuff too.
Oh, that's
But
right. You did
yeah,
criminal defense.
well, I did some other, yeah, did some defense stuff, some other types of defense, some defense stuff, and yeah, now I focus on obviously plaintiff's personal injury. Um, but the thing that I want people to understand is that, and this may not directly answer your question, if I apologize, and I apologize if it doesn't, but the causes of action that they're trying to, and I'm sorry, the category, I should say, action, the categories of damages they're trying to tell people you can no longer pursue, and they're trying to pigeonhole these categories of damages that we have been, getting for our clients for years, and they're trying to pigeonhole them into different categories and try to say, oh, if you want all these other types of damages, you can only seek this one category. That's crazy. The way it is now, where if somebody gets into a collision or gets into an incident, slip and fall, whatever the incident is where they've been injured, right now they can seek their pain and suffering, their physical disfigurement, their several different categories of damages. And what they're trying to do through these statutes is say, well, no, hold on, all these other different types of categories of damages are they're not necessary, or they're maybe whatever their argument is, they're just trying to get rid of them. And I think that's going to harm people in pre-suit negotiations, in negotiations after a lawsuit has been filed, and also when you get to trial, because you're not able to tell the jury, hey, look at all these damages I should be awarded.
So you mentioned disfigurement. can you give the audience what's a case you've handled where a client had a legitimate disfigurement claim that you were asking a jury to award money for?
Yeah. So the ones that I've just come to mind are are those that have had, I would say, significant scarring, where after an incident, if your skin gets cut from an incident, you're probably gonna have some scarring, even if it's minor, right? There's some scarring there, but obviously in some incidents, in some car collisions, there could be a lot of disfigurement. There could be a lot of scarring and things like that, where it's significant physical disfigurement, where we may have to get maybe a plastic surgeon or somebody to opine on the injuries to a client or to a claimant, to a plaintiff. So I would say, to kind of answer your question, I just harken back to the cases I've had in my past and currently where a client says, "Hey, look, because of this collision, look at these scars." Things that they're going to be reminded of for the rest of their life, right? Unless there's some sort of remedy. But again, scars are hard to fix. So you're essentially telling people, if you do get if this thing passes and physical disfigurement is taken away, and somebody's not able to claim that, or it's making it harder for somebody to claim physical disfigurement, it's really a disservice to people, because it's not just the pain and suffering, the physical pain and suffering. It's also the constant reminders of an incident through the scarring that somebody may have.
There's another provision in there that talks about loss of consortium. What does that mean?
It's very generally, if I'm married to somebody, I get hurt, it's essentially damages to our relationship, mine and my wife's relationship. That's very general way to put it.
And under SB 30, now the disfigurement situation and loss of consortium just gone?
Well, my understanding is they are trying to get rid of both of those. And that's dangerous, right? Can you imagine a wife, let's say I get into a car collision and now my wife cannot seek the proper amount of damages she should be able to get because of the damages to our relationship.
Right.
Why are we overreaching with these statutes is the way I look at it. Why are we trying to get rid of things?
Well, one thing the insurance lobbyists say, we got to get rid of these because the verdicts are out of control, and that's what's causing a rise in insurance premiums. What's your response to that?
The insurance premium thing I've always found interesting because, during these hearings, you've heard people that are proponents for this SB 30 being passed that cannot guarantee that insurance rates will go down because of even if this thing passes. That's crazy. So if there's an idea that, hey, we need to pass SB 30 because that will help insurance rates go down, they can't even guarantee that will happen. So it honestly boggles the mind that they're running on this to say, hey, one of the benefits of SB 30 is insurance rates are, to try to contain these insurance rates, but they can't even guarantee that it's going to fix anything.
The biggest hypocrisy I see is they say, all right, your premiums are out of control. It's because of the lawyers. Let's pass tort reform, we'll lower the premiums. Then we get in the hearings, and as you and I both watched, the authors admit this ain't going to lower your premiums. So what's the real reason they push for it then?
Look, without speculating, I haven't been in these insurance CEO corner rooms, with these big glass, nice offices they have that they think that we as PI lawyers have, right? They try to pin us as these Jaguar drive-in, PI lawyers and all this other stuff. I haven't been in these big money CEO offices for these insurance companies, but I have to envision they're trying to help their own bottom dollar. That's the way that's my thought on it. Is they're probably just trying to protect their bottom dollar, and I'm not really sure that they're doing this to really help their customers, which is our fellow citizens.
I've never seen or heard or read an article that a CEO voluntarily lowers their salary to save the customer more money.
I haven't seen it either. Again, I'm happy to be to have me stood corrected. But I haven't seen that. If somebody wants to show me proof that that's happened, I would love to see it.
Let's say the bill passes. All right, let's say SB 30 passes into law. Governor Abbott signs it. It's law in Texas. What's personal injury look like in Texas 5 years from now?
Well, I'll tell you, I think and of course I'm speculating here right now, but I think one of the things you're going to see is PI attorneys no longer be PI attorneys, and people coming out of law school not wanting to help their fellow common man, right? Somebody who's been hurt, take on that kind of, be a champion for people. And I worry that that's going to lead to a worsening of PI talent, personal injury attorney talent for people who could, the people who could actually help people. I think there's going to be a worsening of that where they may try to go to different areas of law. But another thing we're going to see is people, really what I think we're going to see is people be surprised. Because I think right now, people think, hey, if I get into a collision, I'm going to be able to get my damages. I'm going to be able to get what I deserve and what I owe. And it's going to be on the lawyers down the road to be like, hey, I'm sorry, but there have been recent statutes that have come through that have changed things. Kind of like what happened with medical malpractice, right? I'm sure you and I both get calls for medical malpractice, and we have to explain to people how those cases have been changed because of rules and statutes or whatever. So I think
every week
right.
I got to tell somebody, hey, you don't have a case. Your case is considered frivolous, according to Governor Rick Perry and Governor Abbott.
So I'm worried that that's what we're going to see happen with just even the most common personal injury type case. They're trying to essentially make it. I think they're trying to make common PI cases be what they did to medical malpractice, which would be a real shame.
One thing I've heard from a lot of non-legal people when I talk to them about the bill and the portion of the bill that deals with letters of protection and reimbursement at Medicare rates, they say, well, that's all medical doctor stuff. I'm not really worried about it. That might not affect me. How is it that the capping of someone's medical bills or where they can go to the doctor affects their personal injury case?
Well, two things. Number one, it's my understanding that one of the things they're trying to do is essentially use a database that says, hey, here's how much certain things should cost. But not every doctor charges what this database may say. And, I'm not entirely sure the how researched this database is to really say, hey, look, this is how much everything should cost for all these different types of treatment. Again, different doctors charge different things. Just like on the defense side, different experts charge different rates and different fees, even though they do the same type of expert work as another defense expert may do, right? Different doctors charge different things. And just like I said earlier, with PI attorneys maybe wanting to go to different types of law if this thing passes, you may see doctors not want to treat PI clients because of this, which is going to impact, I would think, is going to impact clients that want to be able to go to their choice of doctor. But those doctors may say, oh, we don't actually do this anymore. We don't treat PI clients because of this thing passing.
And I know I deal with that right now. A lot of people have health insurance. They try to go to their primary care physician. Primary care physician says, I don't treat people in car wrecks. I don't want to deal with your insurance company. Have you had a similar experience?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I've had many clients who say, hey, look, my PCP won't treat me for this because I was involved in a car collision and the PCP doesn't think they're going to get paid. So now they have to go try to find a different doctor, the client does. But then this stuff passing, the statute passing may make it even harder for clients to find somebody, right? So now who are they going to see, right? Who's going to treat these people who have been harmed and wronged by somebody else through no fault of their own? And I think that's a real shame if that is a consequence of this thing passing.
Let's say I can't go to my PCP, even though I have health insurance. Now I can't go to a doctor on a lien or an LOP doctor that has a relationship or something with my attorney. Who ultimately pays for their medical care?
I would think the client does. The client, the person who's hurt through no fault of their own, now has to potentially pay out of pocket for treatment. And a lot of people can't do that. A lot of people cannot afford, they can't afford this treatment. This treatment's expensive. Can you imagine telling a client, hey, look, your insurance won't cover this testing that you need to do, this imaging you need to do, whatever, and now we can't do LOP for any of these things. Hey, can you pay out of pocket for this? They didn't get into a collision and, after a collision, have hope that somebody could take care of them just to be told, hey, sorry, we can't, there's nothing you can do unless you can shell out a bunch of money and hope to get reimbursed, because every case is a risk, right? There's a risk that there is no settlement. There's a risk that a jury may determine a plaintiff loses in the case. So imagine being like, hey, you need to go get treatment, but you may not get paid back for this in the long run. It's if you can even afford it now, right? It's going to be a mess.
All right. As everyone can see, you and I are both sitting in the House of Representatives down in Austin. We're actually inside the legislature, if you can see our background, or if you're listening in your car and want to watch this later on video, Farshad and I are in the Texas Capitol. We are not in our own offices. Don't let the cameras fool you. My question is, you're in the House of Representatives. As you've seen and I've seen, you got 2 minutes, Farshad. 2 minutes to tell a legislator why, and they're thinking, I might vote for this, I might vote against it. I'm on the fence, Farshad. 2 minutes. Why should I oppose SB 30?
That's a great question, and I'm happy I get this floor to talk about it. Because what I would tell someone is this: look, why are we making it harder for people to get what they deserve? And really ask yourself, the proponents of this statute, why are they what is their basis, number one? And number two, why do you think they're wanting this statute? Is it to help people? What evidence is it that's going to help people? What evidence is out there that's going to help people? Is it going to help their insurance rates? There are people who are saying that it may not lower insurance rates. In fact, they cannot it seems like they can't even guarantee it. They've said it themselves. They cannot guarantee this is going to lower insurance rates. So is it going to help them? Is it going to help people financially? We don't know that, right? We just said we don't know that. Is it going to help people pursue their injury cases against the people who've wronged them? No, it's going to make it harder for them, right, to get what they deserve and pursue the causes of action they need to pursue. Are we really just going to let the bad guys off, while letting the good people who work hard, who try their best every day, who woke up every day with shining eyes and a great smile, that get hurt through no fault of their own, and punish those good people and let the bad guys off the hook? Are we really going to do that? Are we really going to let bigger corporations and all that really determine Texas law? The people, the one thing I love about Texas, and I've always loved about Texas, is this idea that, hey, we care about our people. We care about each other. We're not going to let interest and money drive the passion we have for each other. Instead, we're gonna just care. We're gonna be like, hey, those are my people. That's my fellow citizen, my brother and sister. That's why we have a jury system, right? We expect a jury of our brothers and sisters, of our fellow man, to determine what we deserve. Why are we taking that away from them? Because a corporation says we maybe should do that? Why are we giving them so much power? So you, Mr. Whoever, if you're on the fence, who are you helping and who are you harming? And are you doing it to the right? Are you hurting or harming the right people? Why are you doing this? I'm hoping they'll think about everybody and reject these statutes.
Completely agree. Thanks for joining us, Farshad.
Thank you.
Pockets ain't empty, cuz.
And we ain't hungry no more either, bruh.